The soft hum of the biodome was Elara's lullaby, a constant comforting thrum against the vast, silent canvas of space. She lay in her suspended sleep cocoon, a gentle hammock of woven light fibers that adjusted to her exact contours, but her eyes were wide open. Through the panoramic viewport that curved over her bed, the sapphire glow of Xylos 7's twin moons spilled into her room, painting the smart walls in shifting patterns of azure and silver. Outside her window, beyond the transparent durasteel of the dome, lay the whispered mystery of the Stardust Grove. It wasn't a grove of trees, not in the way ancient Earth tales described them. Here, on Xylos 7, the trees were towering spires of crystalline flora, pulsing with an inner luminescence that waxed and waned with the planet's atmospheric tides. At night, they were breathtaking, a silent symphony of living light. Elara watched as a particularly tall spire, nicknamed the Whisper Spire by the younger inhabitants of Ethelberg Dome, flared with an intense deep violet, then dimmed to a soft, almost imperceptible lavender. It was a silent invitation, a promise of wonders she hadn't yet fully explored. Elara was 10 cycles old, a small human in a very big universe, yet her spirit was as boundless as the star-dusted sky she gazed upon each night. Her home, Ethelberg Dome, was a marvel of human ingenuity, a gleaming city nestled in a valley of Xylos 7, designed to mimic the gentle gravity and breathable atmosphere of Earth, yet embracing the unique alien beauty of its adopted home. Her parents, both xenobotanists, were often lost in their labs. So, Elara often found solace in her own explorations, whether it was through the vast data networks of the dome's central library or simply by watching the stars. Tonight, however, her thoughts were not on the Whisper Spire, nor on the constellations that the dome's astrogation system projected onto the viewport's outer surface, labeling them with ancient Terran names like Orion and Cassiopeia. Tonight, her mind was on a different kind of star, one whispered about in hushed tones, a legend that felt too real to be just a story. Stardust L, she murmured, the words feeling weighty on her tongue. The L was the mystery. No one in Ethelberg seemed to know what it stood for, not truly. Some said it was a long-lost star, a beacon for the first explorers who had left Earth generations ago. Others claimed it was a secret project, a hidden chamber within one of the ancient, derelict scout ships that sometimes drifted into Xylos 7's orbit, hulks of forgotten dreams. Her Nana, however, had a different theory. Nana Elara, who shared her name, and an uncanny resemblance in their shared boundless curiosity, lived in the old sector of Ethelberg, a part of the dome where the architecture was less sleek durasteel and more warm, recycled timber and repurposed starship plating. Her apartment was a treasure trove of forgotten tech, ancient data slates, and holographic projections of nebulae so vibrant they seemed to breathe. Elara often visited Nana, especially when the quiet hum of her own home felt too loud with unspoken questions. Nana had a way of answering questions Elara hadn't even thought to ask yet. Just this evening, over mugs of warm spiced nutrient tea, Nana had pulled out an ancient leather-bound book, its pages a soft, fibrous material unlike any digital screen Elara had ever touched. "This, my little star-seeker," Nana had said, her eyes twinkling like distant suns, "is a relic from the time before Ethelberg, even before the Great Exodus." Elara had leaned closer, fascinated. The book was titled Chronicles of the Lumina Path. "Lumina," Elara had repeated, tracing a finger over the ornate, slightly raised letters. "Like light?" Nana had nodded, her silver hair shimmering in the soft glow of a nearby bioluminescent lamp. "Precisely, Lumina, light, and this book speaks of a very special light indeed, a light that guided our ancestors through the darkest stretches of the void, a light they called the Stardust L-Des." Elara's breath had hitched. The Stardust L? But Nana had smiled, a secret, knowing smile that always made Elara feel like she was on the verge of uncovering a cosmic truth. "Ah, that is the question, isn't it? The legends are many. Some say Lumina, for its brilliant radiance, others legacy, for the knowledge it promised, and some, my dear, believe it stands for labyrinth, for the journey one must undertake to find it." A labyrinth? Elara had felt a shiver of excitement, and a tiny prickle of fear. But where is it? Is it a place, a star? The book speaks of it as both a place and a concept, Nana had mused, flipping through the brittle pages. It refers to a celestial convergence, a nexus of pure stellar energy. It was said to be a source of limitless power, of unimaginable wisdom, and even, perhaps, a way home. Home? Elara had looked around Nana's cozy apartment, then imagined the vastness of the dome outside, and the even vaster, star-flecked void beyond. But this is home. Nana had patted her hand. And a beautiful home it is, my little star-seeker, but our ancestors carried the memory of Earth in their very cells. The Stardust L was said to be the key to understanding the universe, to mastering space itself. If one could reach it, one could travel anywhere, even back to the cradle of humanity, if it still existed. And it still existed. Elara had felt a strange mix of longing and wonder. The idea of a cradle of humanity was abstract, a historical footnote in her data slates. But the idea of limitless power, of unimaginable wisdom, that ignited a spark in her. "How do you find it?" she had asked, her voice barely a whisper. Nana had closed the book, a faint sigh escaping her lips. "That, my dear, is where the trail grows cold. The coordinates were lost, the instructions fragmented. The early explorers, driven by desperation and hope, searched for generations. But as humanity spread, as new worlds like Silos 7 were colonized, the legend of Stardust Elf faded, becoming merely a bedtime story for children. But not for Elara. For her, it was more than a story. It felt like a calling. Now, lying in her sleep cocoon, she replayed Nana's words. A celestial convergence. A nexus of pure stellar energy. Yan, the words resonated deep within her. She imagined a place where starlight wasn't just distant twinkle, but a tangible flowing river of light. A faint chime sounded from her bedside chrono. It was well past her designated sleep time. Her room's a gentle maternal voice named Aura, would soon initiate a soft sleep wave to ensure she got her rest. But Elara wasn't ready to sleep. Not yet. She pushed herself up, the low gravity making her movements feel light and graceful. Her feet touched the cool, smooth floor of her room. She padded over to her personal console, a sleek, transparent panel that floated near her viewport. With a thought, she activated it. "Aura, can you access the historical stellar charts from the first Exodus era?" she asked, keeping her voice low. Aura's voice, a warm contralto, responded immediately. "Of course, Elara. Accessing historical archives, please specify parameters. Search for any references to Stardust or lunar path in astronomical data, not just cultural records," Elara instructed, her heart thumping a little faster. A moment of silent processing. Then, Aura's voice returned, tinged with a hint of surprise. "Query results are largely categorized as mythological or unverified speculative phenomena." Elara gasped. "Labyrinth? Nana mentioned that. Can you decrypt it?" "Decryption protocols for Pathfinder 7 require level 5 authorization, Elara. Your current access level is 2. Aura's voice was apologetic. "I cannot proceed." Disappointment washed over Elara, but it quickly morphed into renewed determination. Level 5, authorization. That was adult-level access, probably only her parents or the Dome Council had it. But she wouldn't give up. She thought about Nana. Nana had the book. Nana knew things. Maybe Nana had seen these coordinates before, or knew someone who could help. "Aura, can you project the incomplete coordinates from Pathfinder 7 onto my viewport?" Elara asked, a new plan forming in her mind. "Projecting now, Elara," Aura replied, and instantly, a shimmering constellation of numbers and symbols appeared, overlaid onto the distant stars outside her window. They were complex, unlike the simplified astrogation maps she was used to. It looked like a partial stellar address, a fragment of a journey. As she stared at the coordinates, something peculiar happened. One of the numbers, a long string of what looked like a quantum frequency, pulsed faintly, a barely perceptible shimmer of light that seemed to resonate with the whisper spire outside her window. It wasn't just a number, It felt alive. Aura, is that normal? Elara pointed to the pulsing number. Analyzing anomaly, Aura replied. A moment later, the fluctuation you observe is not part of the projected data. It appears to be a localized energy signature emanating from within your residential sector, interacting with the projected image. Elara frowned. A localized energy signature. What does that mean? It suggests a device or phenomenon in close proximity is emitting a unique energy signature that aligns with a specific frequency within the projected coordinates, Aura explained. The origin point appears to be within your room, Elara. Elara spun around, her eyes scanning her bedroom. It was a familiar space, her sleep cocoon, her console, her study desk, a shelf filled with holographic story cubes, and a few ancient physical books Nana had given her. Nothing seemed out of place. Then her gaze fell upon a small, smooth, polished stone that sat on her bedside table. It wasn't just any stone. It was a wishing stone Nana had given her when she was very small, a piece of petrified wood from the ancient forests of Xylos 7, said to glow faintly when held by someone with a pure heart. Elara had always loved its smooth, cool feel, and the way it seemed to absorb the light of the moons. Tonight, however, it wasn't just absorbing light. It was emitting it. A faint, almost imperceptible pulse, mirroring the shimmer she had seen in the projected coordinates. The stone was warm to the touch. Elara picked it up. As her fingers closed around it, the pulse intensified slightly, a gentle thrum against her palm. The stone, she realized, was resonating with the very coordinates of the Stardust LDL. Could it be? Was this wishing stone, this simple gift from Nana, somehow connected to the ancient legend? Aura's voice cut through her thoughts. Elara, the sleep wave sequence will initiate in 60 seconds. No, Aura, wait. Elara held up the stone. Can you scan this, for any unique energy signatures? Scanning now, Aura responded. A beam of soft light emanated from Elara's console, enveloping the stone. The results were instantaneous. Unique energy signature detected. The stone is composed of Xylos 7 petrified wood, as expected, but it contains trace elements of an unknown crystalline structure, emitting a resonant frequency identical to the fluctuating quantum frequency observed in the Pathfinder 7 coordinates. Elara's heart hammered against her ribs. This was no coincidence. This was a link. Elara, 45 seconds until sleepwave initiation, Tonte. She had to think fast. She couldn't let Aura put her to sleep now. Not when she was on the verge of something incredible. Aura, override sleepwave for emergency protocol Gamma 7, Elara commanded, remembering a rarely used parental override code her father had once jokingly taught her for critical scientific breakthroughs. Nyee. A moment of silence. Then, emergency protocol Gamma 7 recognized, sleepwave initiation temporarily suspended for 20 minutes. Please state the nature of the emergency, Elara. The nature of the emergency is a critical scientific breakthrough, Elara declared, a thrill shooting through her. It wasn't a lie, not really. This felt utterly critical. Understood, Aura replied without judgment. How may I assist with your breakthrough? Elara looked at the pulsing stone in her hand, then at the glowing, incomplete coordinates projected on her viewport. Aura, cross-reference this stone's energy signature with any other known artifacts or locations within Athelberg Dome or on Xylos 7. Searching now. The hum of the dome seemed to deepen, as if Aura's processing power had increased tenfold. Elara clutched the stone, her gaze fixed on the coordinates. If the stone was a key, what was it meant to unlock? Was it a map, a compass, or something else entirely? The idea that a piece of her own planet, a simple wishing stone, could be tied to the greatest legend of humanity's past was almost too much to comprehend. The minutes ticked by, each second a drumbeat of anticipation. Elara paced her small room, the faint glow of the stone leading her almost instinctively towards her viewport, towards the stars. Search complete, Aura announced, her voice returning to its normal cadence. One match found. The energy signature of your stone artifact closely matches historical readings from a dormant energy conduit located beneath the old sector. Elara froze. beneath Nana's apartment. Nana, who knew about the Stardust L, who had given her the wishing stone, who lived above a forgotten research station called Nexus Point Gamma. The pieces clicked into place with dizzying speed. Nexus Point Gamma, Elara whispered, the name feeling ancient and powerful. What is it? Nexus Point Gamma was one of the original exploratory outposts established by the first settlers of Ixylos 7, Aura explained. It was primarily used for deep space communication and astronomical observation. It was abandoned after the main Athelberg dome was completed, deemed redundant. Redundant? Elara didn't believe it. Not now. Not with the wishing stone throbbing in her hand, pulsing a silent invitation. Aura, what access level is required for Nexus Point Gamma? Elara asked, dreading the answer. Nexus Point Gamma is restricted access, level 4 clearance, Aura replied. However, due to its abandonment, the security protocols are antiquated. Direct physical access to the main entrance would require level 4 authorization, but a secondary maintenance conduit, marked on ancient schematics, might be accessible with level 3 clearance. Level 3 dot. Still beyond her level 2. But closer. So much closer. Elara thought about her parents' secure datapads, locked away in their lab. She knew they had level 5 access, but they would never let her use it, especially not for a late-night adventure into an abandoned research station. She couldn't tell them about this yet. They would worry, would tell her it was just a story, a child's fantasy. But Nana wouldn't dismiss it. Nana would understand. Nana had given her the stone. Nana lived directly above the Nexus Point Gamma. Nanda? A new resolve hardened within Elara. She had to go to Nana. And with the pulsing stone, she felt a powerful, undeniable pull. The Stardust L wasn't just a legend anymore. It was a path, and the first step lay beneath her Nana's feet. The 20-minute override was almost up. Elara knew she couldn't stay awake much longer without drawing Aura's full attention. She needed to get to Nana before the dawn cycle, before the routine of the dome swallowed her back up. Aura, can you project a direct, secure route from my room to Nana Elara's apartment in the old sector, avoiding main corridors and surveillance zones? Elara asked, a mischievous glint in her eye. Calculating optimal stealth route, Aura responded, a new map appearing on her viewport, highlighting service tunnels and rarely used passages. Route projected. Estimated transit time, 8 minutes. The sleep wave will initiate in 10 seconds, Elara. Elara scooped up a small, sturdy data slate, tucking it into her pocket along with the still pulsing wishing stone. She pulled on her soft, low-gravity boots and a lightweight jacket. Her heart was pounding, a mixture of apprehension and exhilarating excitement. She moved to her room's private exit, a small hatch that led to a narrow maintenance shaft. It was a route she sometimes used to sneak into the hydroponic gardens when she wanted to pick a fresh sunfruit before breakfast. "Good night, Aura," she whispered, as she pushed open the hatch, slipping into the dimness of the shaft. "Good night, Elara," Aura's voice echoed, just as the gentle, insistent hum of the sleep wave began to ripple through her empty room. Elara didn't look back. She clutched the wishing stone, its warmth a beacon in the quiet, metallic darkness of the service tunnels. The Stardust L, a legend whispered through generations, felt suddenly, vibrantly real. And she, Elara, the little starseeker, was about to take her very first step on its luminar path. The true meaning of the L still eluded her, but she had a feeling she was about to find out. The tunnels were a symphony of soft, mechanical whispers, and the rhythmic pulse of something vast and alive beneath her feet. Not dark and cramped as she'd imagined, but a sprawling labyrinth of metallic conduits, softly glowing data streams encased in transparent tubing, and humming energy lines that pulsed with a gentle, internal light. The air smelled faintly of ozone, and something sweet, like distant blossoms, a strange contradiction in this industrial heart. Elara's small boots made almost no sound on the grated pathways, her breath catching in her throat with each new twist and turn. The wishing stone, clutched tight in her palm, didn't just warm her hand. It now pulsed with a soft, inner luminescence, a deep sapphire glow that mirrored the color of her own wide eyes. It seemed to tug her forward, a gentle, almost imperceptible pull, but distinct enough to guide her through the bewildering maze. She passed maintenance drones, silent and motionless in their charging bays, resembling polished metallic insects with multiple optical sensors. They paid her no mind, their internal systems undoubtedly registering her as an anomaly but not a threat. She was too small, too insignificant to trigger any alarms in the Stardust's vast ancient consciousness. Or perhaps, she mused, the ship knew she was here. The thought sent a shiver, not of fear, but of profound wonder, down her spine. The tunnels began to subtly change. The metallic walls gave way to sections of what looked like woven light, shimmering fabrics that pulsed with a rainbow of soft hues. The air grew warmer, carrying the distant murmur of water and the rustle of unseen leaves. Was the Stardust L truly a ship, or something more? A moving world, perhaps, where life thrived in unexpected corners. The wishing stone intensified its glow, its sapphire light now strong enough to cast dancing shadows on the intricate conduits around her. It vibrated softly, a comforting hum against her skin. The path narrowed, leading her to a section where the walls were no longer metal or woven light, but a smooth pearlescent material that seemed to absorb and re-emit light in gentle waves. Here, the hum of the ship was no longer distant, but a deep, resonant chord that thrummed through her bones, a lullaby of cosmic engines. A faint, almost invisible seam appeared in the pearlescent wall ahead. The wishing stone throbbed, urging her closer. As her fingers brushed the cool, smooth surface, the seam widened, not by opening like a door, but by dissolving, melting away into a swirl of iridescent mist that quickly vanished, revealing a passage beyond. This was no ordinary tunnel. It was a corridor woven from pure light. Not harsh or blinding, but a soft enveloping luminescence that seemed to emanate from the very air itself. The floor beneath her feet was not solid, but a shimmering surface that reflected the light in endless patterns, like walking on a calm, stardusted lake. This, she knew with a certainty that settled deep in her heart, was the Lumina Path. She hesitated at the threshold, her small hand still clutching the warm wishing stone. A whisper, like the brushing of starlight on silk, seemed to drift through the air, beckoning her. It wasn't a voice but a feeling, an ancient invitation. Taking a deep breath, Elara stepped onto the Lumina Path. The moment her boot touched the shimmering surface, a sensation like gentle electricity coursed through her, not painful, but invigorating, as if every cell in her body was suddenly singing. The wishing stone in her hand flared brightly for a moment, then settled into a steady, comforting glow, its sapphire light seeming to fuse with the luminescence of the path itself. The path wasn't a static corridor. It flowed, guiding her forward without her needing to direct her feet. She drifted, rather than walked, through chambers that defied conventional understanding. The first was a vast open space, its ceiling a swirling nebula of colors that resolved into distant, glittering galaxies. Not a projection, she realized with a gasp, but real. The Stardust L, she understood, was traversing unimaginable distances, carrying a piece of the cosmos within its very heart. Giant, crystalline structures, like immense, intricately carved stalagmites and stalactites, rose from the shimmering floor and descended from the nebula ceiling. They pulsed with an internal light, some a soft amber, others a vibrant emerald, humming with a low, harmonious frequency. These weren't decorative, she felt they were alive, conduits for the ship's energy, perhaps even its thoughts. She passed through what felt like a vast botanical garden, but unlike any she had ever seen. Trees with leaves of spun starlight rustled in a breeze she couldn't feel, their branches bearing blossoms that shimmered with the colors of distant nebulae. Luminescent fauna, resembling miniature celestial bodies, flitted amongst the glowing foliage. The air here was sweet and fresh, infused with the scent of alien blooms. This wasn't just a ship, it was a sanctuary, a living ark, carrying fragments of forgotten beauty across the void. Elara felt a profound sense of awe, but also a quiet, almost melancholic understanding. The sheer scale of the Stardust L, the intricate beauty of its inner worlds, spoke of a purpose far grander than mere travel. It was a vessel of life, a repository of wonders, moving through the silent expanse of space. The Lumina Path gently carried her deeper. The wishing stone continued its steady glow, a small constant warmth in her hand, a reminder of her journey's beginning. She wondered if it was reacting to the ship, or if the ship was reacting to it. Was the stone a key, or was it simply a beacon that had led her to where she was always meant to be? The path eventually led her to a circular chamber, vast and open, its walls curving upwards into a dome that seemed to dissolve into an infinite starfield. Here, the luminar path branched into many shimmering threads, each leading to a different part of the chamber, like veins of light converging from various systems of the ship. In the very center, suspended in a column of gentle golden light, was a structure unlike anything Elara had ever witnessed. It resembled a colossal, intricate sculpture woven from pure energy. It pulsed with a rhythmic beat, a slow, deep thrum that resonated not just in her ears, but in her very soul. Thousands of tiny, swirling lights danced within its ethereal form, each one a miniature galaxy, a captured memory, or perhaps a fragment of a distant star. It was the heart of the Stardust L, she realized, its core, its living mind. As she drifted closer, guided by the luminar path, a gentle, resonant hum filled the chamber, a sound that seemed to speak directly into her thoughts. It wasn't a language she knew, but a feeling, a vast, ancient consciousness acknowledging her presence. The golden column of light intensified slightly, and from within the energy sculpture, a single shimmering thread of light detached itself, drifting towards her. It coiled gently in the air before her, then began to coalesce, forming a delicate, translucent shape. It resolved into the shimmering outline of a small, graceful creature, like a celestial manta ray made of pure starlight. Its large, dark eyes, however, held an intelligence that belied its ethereal form. "Welcome, little star-seeker," a voice echoed in her mind, soft as a lullaby, yet vast as the cosmos. It wasn't spoken aloud, but resonated directly within her consciousness, warm and comforting. "You have found the luminar path. You have found—" Elara gasped, not aloud, but a silent breath of pure astonishment. The wishing stone pulsed vigorously in her hand, as if greeting an old friend. Who are you?" she whispered, her voice a tiny, fragile sound in the immense chamber. The light creature drifted closer, its form shimmering like heat haze. "I am a fragment, a guardian, a whisper of the Stardust's core consciousness. Some call me Lumina. And you, Elara, are the first in a very long time to walk this path guided by the echo of the first star." It gestured with one shimmering fin towards the wishing stone in her hand. "That stone! It is more than a simple wish keeper. It is a key, a beacon, a fragment of the very energy that birthed the Stardust's purpose." Elara breathed. "What does it mean?" Lumina, the light creature, seemed to ripple with amusement. "The L has many meanings, little one. It is El Lumina, the light that guides. It is Old Legacy, the knowledge we carry. It is Ilgwife, the myriad forms we protect. But most profoundly, it is Uljink, the link between the lost and the found, between the past and the future, between the stars and the dreamers." The shimmering thread of light that formed Lumina's body began to stretch, extending from the creature, and flowing back towards the central energy sculpture. The Stardust L is a vessel of hope, Elara. It was built by those who saw the fading of light in their own world, who understood that true survival meant more than just escaping. It meant preserving. It meant carrying the essence of what was, to sow the seeds of what could be, across the vast emptiness. Elara looked around the chamber, at the vibrant, living heart of the ship, at the distant galaxies swirling on the dome above. "So, it's like a giant seed," Lumina rippled, a silent chuckle. "A perfect analogy, little one. A seed ship, carrying the wall-high force of worlds that might otherwise vanish into memory. And the luminar path. It is the circulatory system, the nervous network, the very essence of how this grand seed ship cares for its precious cargo." "Cargo?" Elara felt a fresh wave of wonder. "What cargo?" "Worlds, Elara. Ecosystems, cultures, dreams, the whispers of ancient forests, the songs of forgotten oceans, the blueprints of civilizations that reached for the stars, and then, through their own folly or the harshness of the cosmos, fell. We carry their essence, their hope, their potential to new, fertile grounds. We are the gardeners of the cosmos. Luminous form began to undulate, the light within it swirling. The echo in your hand, it awoke when your own star-seeking spirit ignited. It felt the call of the Lumina path, for it is connected to the very core of this ship's mission. It is a piece of the original starseed, imbued with the intent to connect, to guide, to find those who can continue the legacy. Elara stared at the wishing stone, now truly understanding its profound significance. It wasn't just a pretty rock, it was a living fragment of a cosmic purpose. My world, she began, her voice tinged with a sudden sadness. It's fading too. We're running out of everything. Lumina's light softened, its form seeming to lean in with profound empathy. We know, Elara, the Stardust L has been observing. We felt the resonance of your world's struggle, your desperation, your hope, your dreams. That is why the echo called to you. So you can help my world. A spark of desperate hope ignited within her. That is our ultimate purpose, Elara, to find worlds in need and to offer the solace of new beginnings, but it is not a simple task. The Stardust L travels vast distances, across cosmic currents and through stellar nurseries. Its journey is long, its mission complex. Lumina shifted, its shimmering body now radiating a gentle, inviting glow. The Lumina path, little one, is more than just a means of travel through the ship. It is also a pathway to knowledge. It connects to the Stardust's vast archives, its sensory network, its very memory. If you choose to follow it further, it can show you wonders, teach you histories, and prepare you for the profound task that lies ahead. Elara looked from the ethereal guardian to the central energy sculpture, the beating heart of the ship, then down at the wishing stone in her hand. The sleep wave, which had driven her to this daring escape, felt like a distant, irrelevant memory. Her small, empty room, her predictable life, all seemed to shrink into insignificance compared to the cosmic grandeur unfolding before her. She had always felt different, a small spark seeking a greater flame. Now, here, in the heart of the legendary Stardust L, surrounded by the whispers of ancient stars and the promise of new worlds, she felt that flame begin to grow. I want to follow it, Elara declared, her voice stronger now, filled with a burgeoning determination. I want to learn, I want to help. Lumina pulsed with a gentle affirmation. Then let the Lumina path be your guide, Elara. Let it immerse you in the legacy of stars. But know this, the journey will be long. It will require courage, curiosity, and a heart open to the vastness of the unknown. Are you ready to truly become a starseeker? Elara clutched the wishing stone, its warmth a steady anchor. She looked up at the glittering dome, at the swirling galaxies beckoning from beyond. A smile, wide and full of wonder, spread across her face. I'm ready, she whispered, and the Lumina path, as if hearing her declaration, intensified its shimmer, inviting her deeper into the boundless mysteries of the Stardust L. The shimmering threads of light that branched from the central sculpture began to pulse, one of them glowing with a particularly inviting warmth, beckoning her towards a new, unexplored segment of the ship. As she drifted towards it, the images on the dome above began to shift, showing not just distant galaxies, but intricate simulations of various worlds, some lush and vibrant, others struggling, and some perhaps awaiting the Stardust L's touch. The central energy sculpture pulsed with renewed vigor, its thousands of swirling lights dancing faster, like a symphony conductor preparing for a grand cosmic movement. The Lumina path truly was a journey, not just a destination. It was an education, a living history book, and a map all in one. The thread she now followed led her away from the central core chamber, but not back into the service tunnels. Instead, it guided her into what felt like a vast crystalline library. The walls were made of translucent, glowing panels, each one seemingly holding an untold story, a piece of knowledge captured in light. The air here hummed with a different energy, a quiet, focused intensity. Instead of the bustling life of the botanical gardens, or the raw power of the core, this chamber felt like a sanctuary of thought. Along the crystalline walls, shimmering glyphs and symbols danced, ever-shifting patterns that seemed to communicate complex ideas without words. Elara felt as if she was swimming through pure information. Lumina's silent presence accompanied her, a faint, comforting shimmer at the edge of her perception. "This is the wee library of Lumina, Ilara," the gentle voice echoed in her mind. "Hera, the Stardust, stores the wisdom of millennia, the observations of countless journeys, the very fabric of the civilizations it has encountered and sought to preserve. Each shimmering panel, each swirling glyph, is a vessel of knowledge." Ilara reached out a tentative hand towards one of the panels. As her fingers brushed the cool, smooth surface, a burst of images flooded her mind, shimmering blueprints of ancient starships, complex mathematical equations that seemed to describe the very structure of the universe, vibrant paintings depicting alien landscapes, and delicate musical scores that played melodies she'd never imagined. It was overwhelming, a torrent of information, yet somehow gentle, filtered by the lunar path so as not to overload her young mind. She quickly pulled her hand back, her head swimming. "It's so much." "Indeed," Lumina replied. "But you need not absorb it all at once. The Lumina path allows you to interact with this knowledge in a way that is tailored to you, to your questions, to your innate curiosity. Ask, little one, and the library will respond." Ilara thought for a moment, then looked at the swirling glyphs. "Show me, my world," before it started fading. Instantly, the entire chamber shimmered. The crystalline panels around her dissolved, replaced by a holographic projection that enveloped her. She stood on a vibrant green planet, its oceans a sparkling azure, its skies a clear, bright blue. Towering, organic cities rose from the landscape, their structures seamlessly integrated with nature, powered by clean, flowing energy. People moved through the streets, laughing, creating, living in harmony with their surroundings. It was her world, Eos. But as it had once been, vibrant and teeming with life before the great resource drain, before the choking clouds and the dimming sun. Tears pricked Ilara's eyes. She had only ever known a world struggling, a world of rationing and scarcity, of grey skies and fading hope. To see it like this, alive and flourishing, was both heartbreaking and inspiring. This was Eos at its zenith. Lumina's voice resonated softly. A jewel of the sector, a testament to sustainable living, to technological advancement intertwined with ecological preservation. "What happened?" Ilara whispered, watching the joyous holographic figures. The projection subtly shifted, the vibrant colors dimming, the organic cities showing faint cracks. The harmonious energy flows faltered, replaced by rising plumes of dark smoke from industrial zones. The skies clouded, the oceans turned murky. The laughter faded, replaced by the murmurs of concern, then desperation. "The people of Eos grew complacent," Lumina explained, its voice devoid of judgment, merely stating fact. "They forgot the delicate balance. They mined too deeply, consumed too much, expanded too quickly. The very technology that once fostered harmony became a tool for unchecked consumption. The life force of Eos began to wane. A familiar pattern, sadly, across many worlds." Ilara watched, a lump forming in her throat, as the vibrant world slowly became the struggling planet she knew. But then, a new image appeared. A small glowing seed dropped onto a barren, distant moon. From this seed, a tiny sapling emerged, then a forest, slowly terraforming the moon, bringing life to a desolate rock. "But even in decline there is always hope, Ilara," Lumina continued. "The Stardust L carries the woolly legacy of revival. We carry the genetic blueprints, the ecological knowledge, the very essence of how to rebuild and replenish. We offer the chance for a new beginning, learning from the mistakes of the past." The holographic projection of Eos faded, replaced once more by the shimmering walls of the Library of Lumina. Ilara felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her world and Koti be saved. The Stardust L held the answers. "What do I need to do?" she asked, her voice steady, determined. Lumina's form brightened. "For now, little one, you must learn. Understand the true meaning of the Stardust's mission. Immerse yourself in the Yielding of knowledge. The Lumina path will be your teacher. It will show you the challenges, the triumphs, and the delicate art of cosmic gardening." The Lumina path beneath her feet began to flow again, drawing her further into the crystalline library. New panels glowed with inviting light, New glyphs danced with untold stories. The wishing stone in her hand pulsed in rhythm with her heart, a silent promise. Elara didn't know how long she would be on this journey, or where the Lumina path would ultimately lead her. But she knew, with an unwavering certainty, that she was no longer just a little girl dreaming of stars. She was part of something vast, something ancient, something profoundly hopeful. She was Elara, the Star Seeker, walking the Lumina path, ready to learn the secrets of the Stardust and, perhaps, help her fading world bloom once more. The gentle hum of the ship, the comforting glow of the wishing stone, and the silent guidance of Lumina wrapped around her like a warm blanket as she ventured deeper into the heart of the universe's greatest secret. Her adventure had truly just begun. Her adventure had truly just begun. The Star Whisperer, Elara's vessel, was not a ship of cold metal and sharp angles, but a living marvel of bioluminous alloy, grown from ancient star moss and woven with strands of light fiber. It hummed not with mechanical effort, but with a gentle, organic thrum, like a sleeping giant taking a slow, deep breath. Its translucent hull offered panoramic views of the cosmos, making Elara feel less enclosed and more suspended within the very fabric of space. Lumina, nestled in a soft pouch near her heart, pulsed with a steady, comforting warmth, its glow mirroring the distant galaxies outside. "The Lumina path is opening, Elara," a soft, melodious voice whispered, not from a speaker, but from the very air around her. It was Aura, the ship's integrated intelligence, a sentient echo of Lumana's ancient wisdom. "We are approaching the weave gate." Elara pressed her hand against the shimmering wall of the observation deck. Outside, the familiar scattered brilliance of stars began to coalesce, forming intricate, glowing patterns. It was as if the universe itself was weaving a tapestry of light, drawing threads from distant nebulae and binding them into shimmering pathways. This was the Lumina path, not a physical route, but a quantum alignment, a cosmic current that flowed between the known and the profoundly mysterious. The Star Whisperer glided into a river of concentrated starlight, a swirling, iridescent current that flowed like liquid aurora. This wasn't empty space, but a vibrant, energetic thoroughfare. Whispering nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust, drifted past like silent colossal whales, their colors shifting from deep violet to emerald green. Elara watched, mesmerized, as tiny, nascent suns, no larger than her thumbnail, blossomed in the distance, casting ephemeral rainbows across the ship's hull before fading back into the cosmic tapestry. These were the Star Bloom Gardens, where new light was conceived and nurtured. Aura continued. The Lumina path connects worlds, energies, and consciousness. It is a conduit, but also a teacher. Observe, Elara. Feel the currents. Every shimmer, every whisper, carries a piece of the universe's song. Elara closed her eyes, letting the gentle hum of the ship and the subtle vibrations of the Lumina path resonate through her. She felt a profound connection, a sense of belonging that transcended the vast emptiness of space. Yet, a tiny ache of longing for her own fading world lingered. She pictured the muted skies of home, the yearning faces of her people. It was this love, this hope, that fueled her journey. Lumina pulsed in response, as if acknowledging her burden, yet offering solace. Days blurred into a timeless sequence of celestial marvels. Elara spent hours in the observation deck, consuming nutrient paste that miraculously tasted like her mother's homemade starberry soup, while Aura narrated the wonders outside. She learned about chronoflicker currents, subtle distortions in space-time that allowed the Star Whisperer to navigate these impossible pathways without conventional propulsion. She saw gravity orchids, colossal plants that bloomed in zero-G, their petals catching and reflecting starlight, creating living constellations. She even witnessed a cosmic sigh, a slow, deliberate exhalation of an ancient, dying star, its light scattering across millions of light-years, like dust motes in a sunbeam, seeding new life in its wake. The Stardust land awaits. Aura's voice chimed one cycle, pulling Elara from her meditative trance. We are approaching the Veil of Ethel. Outside, the Lumina path began to dissipate, its vibrant colors softening into a silvery haze. Ahead, the cosmos seemed to shimmer, not with light, but with an almost invisible barrier. It was like looking through a silken curtain woven from pure moonlight. Beyond it, Elara could sense, rather than see, an immense pulsating energy. It was a sensation of deep quiet, yet teeming life, a paradox that prickled her skin with anticipation. The Star Whisperer slowed, its organic hum deepening. The veil of Ethel parted like mist, revealing a sight that stole Elara's breath and brought tears to her eyes. This was not a planet, nor a nebula, nor a star system. It was a living tapestry of starlight and cosmic dust, interwoven into an impossible, breathtaking landscape. The Stardust Land was a vast dynamic network of shimmering energies, where light and matter danced in perfect harmony. Rivers of concentrated stardust, impossibly bright and flowing like liquid diamonds, snaked through regions of space that seemed to defy gravity. Islands of crystalline nebulae, glowing with inner fire, floated serenely, linked by bridges of pure starlight. Colossal star blooms, resembling gigantic, multifaceted flowers, pulsed with vibrant colors, each petal a nebula, each stamen a nascent sun. They opened and closed in slow rhythmic breaths, exhaling clouds of shimmering motes that danced like fireflies before settling into the cosmic rivers. "This is the heart of the bloom," Aura whispered, a reverence in her usually calm voice. "The source of all stellar life, the cradle of new light, the echo of ancient wisdom." Elara could feel it, a gentle vibration that resonated deep within her bones, a song without sound. It was the silent song of creation, the heartbeat of the universe itself. The dust was not inert, but alive, shimmering with latent potential, each mote a tiny spark of possibility. "The Star Whisperer cannot proceed further," Aura informed her. "Its biomolecular structure is too dense for the delicate energies within. You must transfer to the Star Moth." A small, elegant craft, detached from the Star Whisperer's belly. The Star Moth was tiny, almost ethereal, crafted from spun starlight and gossamer threads, designed to navigate the intricate energy currents of the Stardust Land. Its hull was translucent, allowing the cosmic wonders to envelop Elara completely. Lumina, nestled in her hand, glowed with an intensified light guiding her. Stepping from the Star Whisperer into the Star Moth felt like stepping from a warm, comforting room into the gentle embrace of a starlit night. The Star Moth was unadorned, just a pilot's seat and a minimalist console, but it felt alive, a direct extension of Elara's will. With a silent command, the Star Moth drifted away from its mother ship, a tiny moth drawn to an infinite luminous flame. "Remember, Elara," Aura's voice projected directly into her mind, now less a voice and more a thought. "The secrets of the Stardust Land are not merely knowledge to be gathered, but experiences to be lived. Connect, feel. The answers lie in balance and reciprocity." Elara took a deep breath, her heart thrumming with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The immense scale of the Stardust Land was overwhelming, yet she felt a profound draw, an ancient calling. She piloted the Star Moth towards a shimmering river of stardust, one of the weaving streams Aura had described. As she approached, the stream pulsed with an inviting light. It wasn't water, but a liquid flow of pure, living starlight, swirling with iridescent motes. Carefully, Elara extended a gloved hand towards the stream. The Star Moth's delicate shielding shimmered, allowing a subtle interaction. As her fingertips neared the luminous current, she felt a gentle warmth, followed by a rush of sensations. Images flooded her mind. The birth of a galaxy, the slow dance of twin suns, the quiet hum of a planet teeming with life, the gentle decay of an ancient nebula, scattering its stardust to birth new stars. It wasn't just visual, it was emotional. She felt the joy of creation, the sorrow of entropy, the endless cycle of beginning and end. The weaving stream was a living memory, a cosmic library. The weaving streams carry the memories of creation and dissolution, Aura explained, her voice soft in Elara's mind. They are the arteries of the Stardust Land, circulating not just energy, but wisdom. Elara pulled her hand back, her mind buzzing with the echoes of cosmic history. She understood now. The secrets were not hidden scrolls or encrypted data, but ambient wisdom woven into the very fabric of this place. To learn them she had to immerse herself, to become part of the flow. She guided the star moth deeper, past colossal gravity trees that sprouted from crystalline asteroids, their branches reaching for the light, their leaves shimmering with captured starlight. She navigated through fields of memory mists, nebulae that pulsed with soft, internal glows. These mists were different from the weaving streams. As she passed through one, Elara felt a wave of profound peace, followed by a brief, vivid image of an ancient, shimmering civilization. Their cities built not on land, but on interconnected light bridges. Their inhabitants beings of pure energy, living in harmony with the cosmos. They weren't speaking but communicating through colors and vibrations, their collective consciousness a gentle hum. Elara paused, overwhelmed by the beauty and the unspoken lessons. Her world, fading, had focused so much on extracting energy, on building and consuming. But here, she sensed a different way, a way of symbiosis, of gentle flow, of respect for the intrinsic energy of the universe. Lumina glowed fiercely in her hand, urging her onward. She felt a magnetic pull towards the heart of the Stardust land, where the star blooms were densest, their light the most vibrant. She saw what looked like a dying star bloom in the distance, its petals dulled, its central light flickering weakly. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant life around it. A fading bloom, Aura observed. It struggles to find its balance. Elara felt an immediate pang of empathy. It mirrored her own world. She steered the star moth towards it. As she drew closer, she realized it wasn't just a physical decline. It felt emotionally depleted. The silent song around it was discordant, a faint hum struggling against silence. She brought the star moth to a gentle stop near the colossal, fading bloom. Its petals, usually a riot of color, were a dull grayish blue, and the nascent star at its core barely pulsed. Lumina vibrated intensely, guiding her. "What can I do?" Elara whispered, her voice barely audible even to herself. Aura's reply was immediate, a thought in her mind. "Touch it, Elara, not with technology but with your essence. Share your hope, share your intention." Taking a deep breath, Elara unbuckled herself from the star moth's seat. She opened the small emergency airlock, letting the ambient energies of the Stardust land flow around her. Her envirosuit, designed for the unique conditions of this place, felt light and permeable. Guided by Lumina, she floated towards one of the dull, drooping petals. She placed her bare hand, protected only by the suit's energy-permeable membrane, against the colossal, shimmering surface of the fading bloom. It felt cool, almost cold, unlike the vibrant warmth of the weaving streams. She closed her eyes, focusing on her world, on the faces of her people, on the vibrant future she wished for them. She poured her deepest hope, her unwavering determination, her love for life, into her touch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a faint warmth spread from her hand. A tiny spark of gold flickered at the edge of the petal. Elara concentrated harder, pushing past her own anxieties, past her fears of failure. She remembered the gentle hum of the star whisperer, the comforting glow of Lumina, the vastness of the universe that still held so much beauty. She remembered that profound sense of belonging she felt in the Lumina path. Slowly, tenderly, the golden spark grew. It spread across the petal, chasing away the grayish pallor. Other petals began to respond, a ripple of color flowing through the colossal bloom. The nascent star at its heart pulsed stronger, brighter, its light growing from a flicker to a steady glow. The discordant hum around it began to harmonize, joining the silent song of the Stardust land. Elara felt a profound connection, not just to the bloom, but to the entire network of starlight and energy. The bloom wasn't just regaining its light, it was regaining its world to shine, its connection to the greater cosmic flow. It was like breathing life back into something that had forgotten how to breathe. As the star bloom returned to its vibrant glory, radiating colors of amethyst, gold and sapphire, Elara felt a surge of understanding. The fading of her world wasn't a punishment, or a simple depletion of resources. It was a disconnection, a forgetting of the profound reciprocal relationship between life and light, between consciousness and the cosmos. The secrets of the Stardust land were not about taking energy, but about participating in its eternal dance, about E contributing to the flow, about I remembering the interconnectedness of all things. She had found a piece of the puzzle, a crucial insight. But the path ahead was still long, the full solution still elusive. She was deeper in, surrounded by new wonders and challenges, but imbued with a nascent understanding that made her feel more capable, more aligned with the universe's grand design. Lumina glowed steadily, a beacon in her hand, as Elara turned her gaze towards the heart of the Stardust land, where the silent song resonated strongest, knowing her true journey had only just begun to unfold its deepest mysteries. The very air around her began to hum with a deeper, more intricate energy as Elara stepped further into the Stardust land. The paths, once merely glimmering, now pulsed with soft, multi-hued light, guiding her through valleys carved from solidified cosmic dust that shimmered like giant, slumbering jewels. Above, the cosmic tapestry was no longer just a backdrop, but a vibrant, living entity, swirling with nebulae that breathed slow, silent breaths of color. Lumina, responsive to the intensified energies, pulsed in her hand, its glow deepening from a gentle pearl to a vibrant amethyst. It seemed to resonate with the silent vibrations around them, pulling Elara not just forward, but inwardig, inviting her to feel the subtle currents of the universe. The crucial insight she'd gained earlier now felt like a seed, planted deep, ready to unfurl. She understood that the Stardust land wasn't just a place. It was a vast, sentient sensorium, designed to communicate through feeling, through resonance. The terrain shifted, becoming less solid and more ethereal. She walked on pathways of condensed light, suspended over chasms of swirling stardust that whispered ancient secrets. Sometimes, she'd encounter formations of crystalline structures that sang in harmonies too complex for the ear, resonating directly with her spirit. These were the silent song's nascent echoes, growing stronger with every step. Her nascent understanding told her that the universe communicated in frequencies, in vibrations, in patterns of energy, and the Stardust land was a grand amplifier, making these subtle signals discernible. She learned to read the swirling dust, not as chaos, but as intricate, flowing calligraphy. Each shift in its luminescence, each gentle eddy, conveyed meaning. Lumina would sometimes flicker, revealing hidden pathways or illuminating symbols etched into the crystalline walls. These weren't characters to be read with her eyes, but concepts to be understood with her heart, transmitting feelings of interconnectedness, of cosmic cycles, of the delicate balance that held all things together. One such pathway led her to a vast, shimmering expanse. It was a lake, not of water, but of liquid starlight, reflecting the entire universe in its boundless surface. Tiny motes of light, like miniature stars, danced upon its surface, each one a universe in itself. As she approached, the silent song grew almost palpable, a deep resonant thrumming that vibrated through her bones, a melody played on the very fabric of existence. It was not a sound, but a profound emotional chord that resonated with a yearning she hadn't known she carried. The insight deepened. The silent song wasn't a message to be deciphered, but a fundamental truth to be experienced. It was the universe's own heart song, a continuous harmonious vibration that permeated all things, from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy. But it was a song that, in some way, had become muted. Not broken, not lost, but less distinct, less vibrant than it should be. And that, she realized, was the problem the solution sought to address. She felt a pull towards the center of the starlight lake. Without hesitation, she stepped onto its surface. To her surprise, she didn't sink. Instead, the liquid light solidified beneath her feet, forming a temporary, glowing bridge. The motes of light danced around her, swirling into intricate patterns, like living constellations forming and dissolving with each breath. Lumina rose slightly from her hand, hovering gently above her palm, its light now a pure ethereal white. As she reached the center, the lake of starlight parted, revealing a vast open chamber beneath. This was not a physical space in the traditional sense, but a nexus of pure energy, a crucible of cosmic forces. The walls of the chamber were not solid, but woven from shimmering threads of light, each thread representing a strand of cosmic energy, a pathway between stars, a thought shared across galaxies. Here, The silent song was not just a hum, it was an enveloping presence, a symphony of light and emotion that washed over her. In the heart of this chamber stood a structure unlike anything she had ever seen. It was a crystalline spire, infinitely tall, reaching up into the boundless cosmic ceiling, and infinitely deep, rooted in the foundational energies of the universe. It wasn't made of matter, but of pure resonance, a living conduit for the silent song. Yet, surrounding its base, Elara saw subtle flickers, like static on a grand transmission. There were gaps in the shimmering threads, places where the light was dimmer, the vibrations less distinct. This was the dissonance, the subtle imbalance she had sensed. Her insight flared into full understanding. The universe was a grand interconnected web, and the silent song was the harmonic frequency that maintained its balance, its growth, its very existence. But the conscious beings of the universe, in their pursuit of individual paths, their occasional discord, their focus on the tangible, had inadvertently caused a slight shift, a subtle disharmony in the universal frequency. It wasn't malice or destruction, but a gradual unconscious drifting away from the core resonance. The spire needed to be retuned, its frequencies realigned, to amplify the silent song to its full, vibrant glory. And she, Elara, was here to help. Her purpose wasn't to fix something broken, but to become a bridge, a conduit, a conductor of the cosmic symphony. Lumina pulsed furiously in her hand, almost vibrating with anticipation. She understood now that Lumina wasn't just a light. It was an ancient tool, an amplifier, a key designed to interact with these very frequencies. Elara raised Lumina, holding it aloft. The crystalline spire pulsed in response, its light intensifying, then wavering slightly. She closed her eyes, letting the silent song wash over her completely. She felt the yearning, the deep, patient expectation of the universe. She remembered her own journey, the subtle whispers of wonder, the moments of connection with the ancient living stardust. She thought of the countless stars, the nebulae, the distant worlds, and the vibrant life that surely thrived upon them, all connected by this invisible silent thread. She opened her heart, letting go of all fear, all doubt, all sense of separateness. She allowed herself to become one with the energy, with the resonance. She became a vessel, ready to receive and to give. Her own body, her very being, began to hum in harmony with the chamber, with the spire. Her song was not made of sound, but of pure intent, of empathy, of a profound desire for universal harmony. Lumina, held high, began to glow with an intensity that encompassed every color of the spectrum, then coalesced into a pure, brilliant white light. This light streamed from Lumina, not as a beam, but as a living current, flowing into the crystalline spire. As it connected, the subtle flickers around the spire began to smooth, the dim threads brightened, and the wavering frequencies stabilized. Elara felt an immense surge of energy pass through her, not draining, but invigorating, empowering. It was as if the entire universe was breathing through her, exhaling harmony and inhaling pure potential. She saw visions of galaxies swirling, of new stars being born, of ancient civilizations finding new paths of understanding, all in perfect, synchronized rhythm. The silent song swelled, not into an audible sound, but into a feeling of absolute, profound peace and exhilarating joy that resonated through her very soul. The dissonance vanished. The spire now pulsed with a steady, brilliant light, radiating the revitalized silent song throughout the Stardust land, and beyond, into the boundless cosmos. It was a song of unity, of shared existence, of the beautiful, intricate dance of creation. When the energy subsided, Lumina gently lowered back into her hand, its light returning to a soft, steady pearl. The chamber, though still vibrant, now felt profoundly peaceful, its purpose fulfilled. Elara stood there, transformed. She was no longer just a seeker. She was a witness, a participant, a small but vital part of the universe's grand design. She walked back across the starlight lake, which shimmered now with a renewed brilliance, its tiny star motes dancing with even greater exuberance. The pathways of the Stardust land seemed to bow in gentle acknowledgement as she passed. She didn't feel a need to rush home, nor did she feel a need to stay. Her journey had reached its completion, yet it had also just begun in a deeper sense. As she emerged from the heart of the Stardust land, turning to cast one last, lingering look at its breathtaking beauty, she knew she carried the silent song within her. It was no longer just an elusive mystery, but a living truth, a constant hum in her spirit, a reminder of the profound interconnectedness of all things. She understood that wonder wasn't just found in distant stars, but in the empathy between beings, in the harmony of existence, in the quiet understanding that binds us all. Elara carried that silent harmony back with her, a subtle glow in her eyes, a quiet strength in her heart. She knew that the universe was always singing, a gentle lullaby for all of creation, and that by simply listening with an open heart, we could all find our place in its infinite, beautiful melody. And with that peaceful understanding, she knew her true journey had finally unfolded its deepest, most profound mysteries, leaving her with a sense of wonder that would forever light her way, like a gentle guiding star, as she drifted into a contented, starlit slumber.